All right, let's talk about one of the biggest questions out there. How do I find my true purpose? Today, we're going to break down a really powerful blueprint, drawing on some deep psychological insights that can give your life a real, solid direction, starting, well, right now.
I mean, have you ever felt that deep down sense that something's missing, like you're just on autopilot? It's a feeling a lot of us can relate to, right? That sense of being adrift. And, it's not just a bad mood. It's a real signal that a deeper need isn't being met.
So, let's get right into it. That feeling of being lost, of just wandering, it comes from something we can call the purpose void. Think of it as this gap that opens up when we don't have a real guiding North Star in our lives. And when that happens, we just end up following our instincts from one moment to the next, which, let's be honest, rarely leads to anything truly fulfilling.
And our brains, well, they hate that void. It's uncomfortable. So naturally, we start grabbing for anything we can to fill it up. We chase after all these distractions, things that seem really important in the moment, but are really just temporary fixes. Psychologists have a name for these: false purposes. And wow, are they easy to fall for.
Which leads us right to the common traps we all face. See, when you don't have a genuine direction, you can't help but start chasing these illusions. You hope this will be the thing that finally makes it all click, but spoiler alert, they are all dead ends.
And just look at these, they're so familiar, right? First, you've got the endless hunt for pleasure and entertainment, anything to escape that feeling of emptiness. Then there's the big one, chasing money and fame, looking for likes and status to feel like you matter. And finally, some of us fall into the trap of cynicism, just deciding, whatever, nothing matters anyway. The crucial point here is that none of these, absolutely none, will give you that deep, lasting meaning you're actually looking for.
Okay, so if those paths are all dead ends, what's the answer? Well, this is where the story takes a really profound turn, thanks to the work of a psychiatrist named Viktor Frankl, and really the incredible power of the human spirit. Frankl survived something most of us can't even begin to imagine: the horrors of concentration camps during World War II. And in the middle of all that intense suffering, he noticed something absolutely crucial. The people who were most likely to survive weren't always the strongest physically. They were the ones who held on to a powerful underlying sense of meaning.
And this quote, it just perfectly captures his whole philosophy. Frankl's big realization was this: people can take everything away from you, but the one thing they can never take away is your freedom to choose your response, your attitude. That internal freedom, that's our greatest power.
What's so amazing is how this idea lines up perfectly with what modern psychology tells us. You see, true happiness isn't about luxury or fame. It's the freedom to do what you want, when you want, with who you want. And finding your life's true work is the ultimate way to take back control of your time and your life.
Okay, so we've talked about the big ideas, which is great, but how do we actually do this? Let's get practical. We're going to build an actionable blueprint for your own life right now using a method called the ladder of goals.
Here's the problem with how most of us think about goals. We dream up some massive, life-altering purpose, and it sounds amazing. But the gap between where we are now and that distant future is so huge, it's just paralyzing. It creates anxiety, and we end up doing nothing. The solution? We need to build a bridge of small, totally manageable steps that connects that big future right back to today.
So, here it is. This is the blueprint. First, you write down your ultimate calling, that big guiding purpose, okay? Got it? Now, we break it down, working backwards. What's one thing you can accomplish this year to move toward it? Now, what can you do this month? And finally, here's the most important step of all. What is one simple, tiny task you can do tomorrow?
And that brings us to the final and most critical piece of the whole puzzle. You see, the entire system hinges on one simple thing: where you place your focus.
So listen closely, because this is the secret sauce. Once you have your ladder built, you forget about the huge ultimate calling just for a moment. Your only job, your entire focus, is on that very first rung, that small, meaningful task for tomorrow. See what that does? It shifts your attention away from that paralyzing anxiety and puts it right onto the work itself. That's how you create momentum and real direction.
By embracing this framework, you stop wandering aimlessly and you start building a life of meaning, one small step at a time. And it leaves us with a really powerful question to think about. What if that grand, unbreakable purpose you've been searching for isn't way out there in the distant future, but is actually waiting for you, hidden in the very next thing you choose to do?